Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
EastVet Archives has adult language and violence and is not suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. EastVet Archives is a Creative Typo entertainment production. If you enjoy this show, we invite you to support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Creative Typo. All levels of membership include ad-free listening, and our binge tier includes access to this complete season. Thank you for listening.
Chapter 10. The Truth.
Observation 9 from the EastVet Archives. An anomaly that grows fully into its power can topple an entire nation. The EastVet Archives contain 429 documented cases of an anomaly achieving the age of 30. All cases include a devastating EastVet event with significant casualties. Once the tap occurs, elimination of the target anomaly should occur immediately.
In 4 days, Emily Swanson's entire world had been invalidated by a string of horrific and unimaginable events. Her two friends, Hastings, who was at this moment driving the vehicle where she currently rode in the front passenger seat, and September, who sat behind her in the same vehicle, had simultaneously saved her life and dismantled it. The two men, who she had known for less than a year, had saved her life in the cafe where she worked, and then again in the cabin that had just disappeared from the rearview mirror. Although they had saved her from death, they had also shown her a world that she could never come back from. When she was a child, she wished to have superpowers like many of the characters from cartoons and stories. She wished that she could partake in an adventure to some amazing place and meet strange, fantastical creatures whose sheer existence challenged her imagination. Instead, she found that her superpowers only killed those around her. The creatures she met were all terrifying in nature and very similar to humans. And the only place she had visited in this adventure was Wisconsin. Fuck adventures. Emily glanced over her left shoulder to Marcus, the bank-robbing escaped criminal that slept in the back of the car. Marcus knew even less than Emily did about what was happening around them. Emily felt an immediate pang of sympathy for the sleeping man. Minus the death magic, Marcus's life was definitely even more complicated than Emily's turned out to be. Marcus had lost his brother during the bank robbery, was arrested, had strange visions about Emily, survived an explosion at the Chicago Police Department, and then was sort of kidnapped by an assassin. All that had been in only 2 days. Emily was a huge advocate of not comparing trauma between people. Each person had their own shit to deal with. But that poor guy had been through some fucked up shit in the last 2 days. She wondered what type of questions Marcus would have if he had been awake. He probably would have started with the most reasonable question. Who the fuck were September and Hastings? And who the fuck was Harp? As Emily imagined an answer for each fantasized question that Marcus might have, she shifted her gaze back out the passenger window to watch the trees zoom by.
I think Marcus should stay with Hastings and me tonight. We can protect him.
I agree. Additionally, I believe we should leave tomorrow.
Leave? And go where?
September and I have several locations where we could lay low and collect ourselves. We need to reassess our current situation and give September time to heal and then devise a plan.
Where are these locations?
It is best that we do not disclose those to you until tomorrow. We do not want to risk you discussing our whereabouts with a friend or colleague in the interim. A mistake could put us all at risk.
We'll likely go to Michigan's Upper Peninsula or to a small ranch in Montana.
September, I know you are wounded, but did you not just hear me say that we should not risk telling her where we are going?
I heard you, Hastings, but if we intend for her to trust us, we must trust her. She understands the severity of our situation.
Hi, guys. Still here.
Sorry, Emily. We'll try to stop doing that.
Stop doing what?
Never mind. Emily, do you have a passport?
No. And I still do not understand why we need to leave. Harp is dead. Isn't this over?
I have someone that can make passports for both of them. She is in Nebraska, though, so it sounds like we are heading to Montana.
No, Emily, I don't think this is over. The Contra will send more people to find you. They're much like a military force. Killing one of their own will be a large insult, and they'll seek retribution.
I still don't understand. What did they want from me?
There are several theories around Contra ambitions, and many of them could be accurate to some degree. The most widely accepted theory among the Chroniclers is that the Contra wish to weaponize the anomalies they abduct.
How do they weaponize us?
They would wait until an anomaly's isfet is powerful and the destructive force of an event would meet their needs. Anomalies would act as a ticking time bomb for the organization.
We assume the Contra are a mercenary organization that works with governments and large enterprises to fund their true ambitions. The Contra would accept a contract from a large organization to sabotage a competitor. It would be infinitely easier to send an anomaly to work or deal with that target competitor, and chaos would erupt around the competitor, eventually causing enough destruction to eliminate them.
This is an effective and low-risk system of sabotage for the Contra.
Right. They don't have to send in Contra agents with high-risk profiles. They simply grab what appear to be normal people and place them where they want them.
So they risk the safety of the anomaly instead of their own agents.
The anomaly isn't really a risk to Contra.
Even if the target government or competitor were to identify the anomaly, they wouldn't be able to pin anything on them. It is isfet that is creating chaos around them. The anomaly does not directly contribute, so there is nothing to blame on them.
Humans do not know about anomalies, so they would chalk it up to bad luck or sabotage that they can't locate. In any case, the anomaly isn't typically found out by the target.
Right. They are more likely to die from their own isfet.
My isfet can kill me?
Only if you use it.
We don't think it can kill you directly, but think about this. An anomaly is in a skyscraper on the 14th floor. Their isfet flares up and causes a chain of chaotic events that lead to a large explosion on the main floor of the building. The skyscraper collapses, but while the isfet didn't directly kill the anomaly, the building collapsing down on them did.
It is difficult to know exactly what kind of event will occur and at what level. That is the nature of chaos magic.
You might be wrong about that.
What do you mean?
What if Harp was right and Marcus is a harbinger?
It is entirely possible.
Marcus was able to see the events around me before they were happening. The first time, he saw them as they were happening, but this last time, he saw things, like, differently. He could identify the chaos around him in some different type of vision.
Fascinating. I will need a full accounting from him after he wakes.
Harp said that he would be able to use the Harbinger's abilities more effectively after spending more time with me. I think she meant that Marcus could see further out and would be able to identify what I was about to do.
This could be really good for us if true. That means we use his knowledge to remove you from a situation before your Isfit causes damage. We might be able to use your Harbinger to negate Isfit destruction.
We would need to run calculations on that and determine range and distance. Emily's Isfet was able to impact the bank without her stepping foot in that location. It gives us a quick base of reference, but the data is severely lacking.
Harp said that I could have up to 4 Harbingers. I want to go and try and find more. I think they have different ways of identifying events, and it might help us figure out events earlier.
I wonder how the Contra are using these Harbingers and their goals.
Logically speaking, they probably keep them as prisoners. They would keep them close to the anomalies, but would not give them direct contact. Thinking back to your skyscraper example, if the Harbinger were to tell the anomaly about the event, the anomaly would be less willing to enter a building or go on the 14th floor.
So the Contra would separate the Harbinger from the anomalies and use their knowledge to stage the attacks.
It is what would make the most sense. Please keep in mind that I have only just learned about Harbingers. There may be other factors that I am unable to account for.
And after the anomaly dies?
They would kill the Harbinger or recruit them. In either case, they can't have humans running around with knowledge of anomalies.
I thought that. I just wanted to hear it. I'm really glad you guys came for me. Harp was such a lying, manipulative piece of fucking shit.
Emily, it's time we told you about our organizations. Harp probably did say some things to you that were untrue about the Chroniclers and Casadoskia. But some of the things she said may have been true. The Guides and Chroniclers are partnered to hunt down and kill anomalies. The Hidden have done so for millennia. The ideology is that anomalies are not people, but instead are avatars of Isfit.
The Guides view anomalies as roots sprouting out from a giant weed. The weed is something they cannot pluck, but they can contain its growth by killing the roots that spawn each year. The roots are not their own entity, but a piece of the greater weed.
It's true, and the Guides believe that containing the Isfit is not only necessary, but also our duty. Our lives are spent guiding others through life and death. Everything we are must follow an order. Isfit is our opposite in a sense.
Not really the opposite, but we do not have to dive into this debate right now. I simply want to note for Emily that they are not opposites.
Thank you, Hastings.
So if all this is the case, why are you helping me?
September and I believe there is something more to the anomalies. We want to save and protect you while figuring out exactly how you function.
There are gaps in our orders. The Chronicler Annals have a huge lack of knowledge regarding anomalies. Removing knowledge from the Annals is the closest a Chronicler can come to lying. Not to mention, the power to have such information removed or restricted would have to come from the top of the Chronicler Order.
Your leaders are hiding something from you.
We believe so. Any chronicler with 2 wits has been able to come to the same conclusion as I have. I think the difference is that once the others have come to that conclusion, they decide that our leaders have hidden the knowledge for our own benefit and safety.
We are not so sure that this is the case. We think that chronicler knowledge should be accessible to all chroniclers.
We are not humans. We do not hoard knowledge for power or self-ambition. There has to be other reasons.
Does this mean that other chroniclers and guides will come for us? Will they be hunting us as well?
At this point, we believe we are safe. We should tackle this one problem at a time.
No. No more fluffy bullshit. I don't mean to be an ass, but I want Hastings to answer. He can't lie. Hastings, will the chroniclers and guides come after us?
I believe they will. I think we may have 2 to 3 months maximum before a team is dispatched. I agree with September that the Contra are the more immediate threat. But to answer your question, yes. The chroniclers and guides will come for you.
Do they know you're helping me?
No, but they will eventually. Right now, we still have access to our resources, but I'm not certain how long that will last. Please understand that Hastings and I have been planning this for years. We have resources stashed away and several contingency plans. Our primary goal is to keep you safe.
If we're going on the run, I want to tell my friends goodbye.
I must protest. I do not think this is a good idea. You risk jeopardizing our escape plan.
I don't give a shit. If I'm going to go with you, I'm going to say goodbye to my friends. Plus, if you don't want them to file a missing persons report about me and have every police officer from here to California looking for us, I think you better let me speak to them.
Hastings, it's okay. Emily won't jeopardize us. She understands what is at stake.
Can we all agree to be ready to leave by 12 noon tomorrow? Will that give you enough time to pack and say your goodbyes?
Yeah, I think that's enough time.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Emily's apartment was small, but it was hers. She had worked hard to live her modest life in the city. She reflected fondly on every purchase she had made for her home. The used furniture set was found online for a great price. The television was a Black Friday purchase for herself. Even the salt and pepper shakers, shaped like Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee, held a sentimental place in her heart. She felt as if she was giving up her entire life. She was giving up her humanity. Her cat, Tribble, twisted in circles around her legs, greeting Emily with comforting purring. Emily lifted Tribble from the ground. At first, she decided to bring Tribble with them, but after an internal struggle, decided to ask Sam to cat sit for her. The thought of her Isbet causing harm to Tribble would have been unbearable. Keeping the kitty safe was just as important to her as keeping Sam and Amber safe. During the car ride home, Emily had text messaged back and forth with Sam and Amber. They had agreed to meet for breakfast in the morning. Emily could not have been more grateful for the two. They would do anything for her, and she would in turn do anything for them. Carrying Tribble along, Emily pulled her suitcase from her closet and set it on the couch. She would wait to pack until the morning. She was exhausted from everything that happened over the last several days. She drank a half glass of water and then carried Tribble to bed, where she quickly drifted off to sleep. Sunshine warmed Emily's face. A gentle breeze of fresh ocean air tugged at her jacket. She felt peace and joy. She stood on an empty beach somewhere. The beach was small and beautiful, with rock walls standing tall at each end. There wasn't a single cloud in the sky. Emily considered focusing on who her host body was, but decided that could wait. She wanted to take in the scene. She was pleasantly rewarded when her host body sat down in the sand at the fringe of the swash zone. the highest point at which the tide came onto the beach. Her clothing was pretty and modern. She wore blue jeans and a windbreaker. Emily noted that as remarkable, considering her last dreams had all seemed from distant pasts. A small turtle strolled into view, stopping every time the tide washed high enough to touch his feet. Emily's thoughts shifted to Marcus. With a conscious effort, Emily reached out to Marcus with her senses. She felt someone's mind near, but knew it wasn't Marcus.
Was it another harbinger?
Or could it be another anomaly, like her? Emily had so many unanswered questions, and maybe these dreams were a way to find some of the answers. Another time. For right now, she just wanted to enjoy the scene. Emily's host sat and watched the turtle walk for a minute, maybe two, before hearing footsteps approaching behind her. The host turned quickly to see who was nearing. A spike of vertigo hit Emily. There is something dizzying about quick movements when you're not in control of your body. In moments, Emily's host had stood and was brushing her hands together to remove the sand. The two men that approached were
more than familiar
to Emily. The taller of the two men wore a colorful suit with a bow tie and walked with an air of confidence. He wore a grim expression, one that Emily had never seen before. The shorter of the two men walked one step behind the first, and his eyes shifted across the landscape all around her host. He wore a calculating look, as if judging the world around him. The men walked with such speed and purpose in her direction that the host hesitantly took a step back toward the beach. Then Hastings asked if her name was Susan. The host body wordlessly nodded her head. September pulled a large pistol from under his coat. He aimed it at Emily and pulled the trigger. Emily Swanson is voiced by Tisha Zang. Hastings is voiced by Adam Culbertson. September is voiced by Richard Collins. Chronicler rules read by Shamas Rodriguez and narrated by Michael Cole. Ispet Archives was written by Nico Rodriguez in collaboration with Tisha Zang. Ispet Archives is a Creative Typo Entertainment production. Find out more about our show at www.creativetypo.com.